Hello, my name is Ryan Uptown Upton, and I'm a Christian rap artist. See, I love everything about the process of making music. From the beat to the lyrics, the recording, the mixing, I love it all. But as much as I love the music, and as powerful as it can be as an agent of change, I recognize the need for more. So welcome to Music Meets Mission, where I will celebrate the release of my new project, Rite of Passage, the EP, and also highlight two local Kansas City organizations who have been a part of the change that our people, our city, our nation, and our world need so desperately. And lastly, I will present an opportunity for you to be a part of that change yourself. Yes, you watching right now. Let's get started. Hey, so welcome to Music Meets Mission. And I got the privilege, man, of a long time guy I've known for a little while. It's been a minute, a long minute. Winston Frazier, man, Program Director of K.I.C.K Ministries. Let's cue up the applause for my man, Winston Frazier. So listen, before we get into all the serious stuff, man, again, it's been a minute. We went to high school, went to Sumner Academy, class of 2003, but dude, at one point,
I wasn't part of 2000. I got kicked out, so I wasn't part of 2000.
I wasn't gonna bring that up. I wasn't gonna bring that up. I was trying to be gracious.
No, I got kicked out. It's okay. My life ended up well, but I got kicked out.
Testimony, bless him. But man, I used to play ball with this man. Probably dunked on you at one point, maybe.
No, but I can honestly say I gave you the name Uptown. I know that. I was the first person to call you that.
Word, for real?
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I thought I had that since like elementary school or something.
No, nobody was calling you that before.
Probably publicly. Man, I remember at daycare, kids was calling me Uptown and like a little kid. Yeah. You probably made it public. I'll give you that. That's what's up. Well, anyway, welcome again, bro. So glad that you could join us for Music Meets Mission. And let's just get into it, man. So tell us a little bit, who is Winston Frazier? Where are you from? And yeah, man, also tell us what led you to K.I.C.K Ministries as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, my name is Winston Frazier. I'm born and raised K.I.C.K. Graduated from Schlegel in 03. I went to University of St. Mary, got a degree, moved to Texas. Worked with the Boys and Girls Club for 13 years, moved back home. Within like 6 years being in Texas, got back here, worked at the Boys and Girls Club. And then honestly, through the work of God, man, I was working with some people and it just led to me going full time into ministry with K.I.C.K Ministries. I was just volunteering as a coach and some things fell up, came through and they needed somebody to kind of right the ship. And man, it's been a blessing. I've been doing it for, this is going into my 4th year, going 4.5 years, man, full time, working at K.I.C.K, KCMO, working with young men. Between the ages of 11 and 21, man. So it's been amazing. Been a lot of good relationships built, and I just love what I do, man. God is good. Let's say that.
Amen.
I don't got nothing to complain about, bro. For real.
That's what's up, man. I know I worked for the Boys and Girls Club for a hot second, man, and that's real work right there, man. That's real work. That's real work right there, man. So God bless you. But yo, real talk, I still got relationships with, I can't even call them kids anymore. They're grown adults, married with kids. Back from after I graduated, I started working at the Boys and Girls Club 2009, I believe, maybe 2009, and still got relationships built with kids. I was trying to help mentor back then, man. So yeah, it's work.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I'm 35. I started when I was 19. Wow. So I got guys when I was 19, they was 17. So they didn't realize until we got grown that I'm only 2 years, like they're in their 30s. Right. And they still, man, we all grown now, but the work never stopped, man. Time just makes it a lot better, bro. Like for real. Especially when they grow up.
Amen. All right, man. So tell us more about the mission of K.I.C.K and what exactly do you guys do on like a weekly basis or day-to-day basis at K.I.C.K Ministries?
Okay, so K.I.C.K stands for Kansas City Inner City Kids. So it's an acronym. I know most people see K.I.C.K, they might think soccer or something like that. Nah, it stands for Kansas City Inner City Kids Ministry. And what we do, basically, we break it down in like 3 different folds. So we have 3 different programs. We have a mentoring program, a basketball program, and a Bible study, or like a youth church group.
Hmm.
So we're actually rolling out a new format, and because we're in a facility off of 67th with the Salvation Army in KCK. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing mentoring from 3 to 6 on Monday and Thursdays with young men in middle school. We're going to have a basketball training program that's ran by my man Marcus Johnson, TJ, to be better basketball, doing this thing. Then we got our Bible study, our youth church on Tuesdays for middle school and high school. Then on Wednesdays, we just got our downtime. We got a lot of the guys to do the work, or some of our older guys, they're like 18, 19, 20. We just play ball on those days. So it's a lot, what I say is basketball, it's a brotherhood, and then it's about the Bible. You know what I mean? So that's like our three folds to what we do.
That's dope, man. I know that would have been huge for me as a young man. We was always looking for some place to play, man. So that would have been amazing. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Why do you feel the work that K.I.C.K does specifically is so important today?
Because nobody's doing it. To be honest, man, ain't nobody doing the work. I think what happens, especially in our culture and our generation, man, we got kind of pinholed and pivoted into caring about ourselves a little bit too much, man. A lot of the problems we're having, especially Kansas City, people don't realize when you turn on the news and somebody dies or somebody gets shot, somebody get robbed, it's usually two people that get involved. It's the victim and it's the person that's the actual, suspect. And I just know so many guys that's off the street for bad reasons. You know what I mean? They're in jail, or they done died to it. So the work we do is important because we deal with the kids that people forget about. You know what I mean? A lot of people like dealing with the cute ones, the kids, take pictures and all of that. Nobody wanted to take a picture of no 6'5" boy that, got anger issues sometimes, or somebody, a lot of times people just don't care about the inner city. Yeah. And honestly, that's my focus, just the inner city, man. I grew up in it. I love it. And I think the greatest gems come from it. But I think enough people don't come back. And I don't mean by coming back and throwing the event, but I mean really grabbing the hand of a child or young people and walking them through life, because we had that. We had that. We had some good mentors. We had some good coaches. We had some good teachers. Not to say they're not around now, but it's not as many as we had, man. So the work we do is just really just filling the gap. Like, we're trying to be the bridge between the church, and the streets for a lot of these guys. So we just do the work and hopefully we can get them there.
Man, amen, bro. Perfectly stated. So following that, man, do you feel that there's a greater sense of urgency to invest in these young men, considering like the political and social climate of America right now? Like, I know we were talking before we hopped on just how crazy, of course, 2020 was, and then right into 2021 kicked off with more craziness. So do you think like that, this climate we're in with all the racial tension and whatnot, how does that play a factor in your opinion?
You know what, bro? This is gonna sound bad, and I hope it don't rub nobody the wrong way.
True,
But
speak the truth.
In Kansas City alone, we had 200 plus murders last year. A lot of my kids, they don't have time to think about racism. You know what I mean? They don't think about politics. They don't got time to think about socioeconomic issues. Man, they're trying to survive in real life, bro. Like, a lot of these guys, I don't think it's enough awareness on really the mental health of young people. And dealing like PTSD is real. You know what I mean? Seeing somebody die, seeing somebody get shot, being robbed, worrying, like walking out the house, have to look over your shoulder. Like, it's something we all kind of dealt with, but I don't think we've dealt with it to the point of like the mass of now. So as of right now, it's an urgency because it's too many of them having babies, too many of them off in the streets, too many of them dying. And I think a lot of people, especially people that even live in the city, we kind of write them off because we think they're making a decision, or, well, I made it, they should be all right, or they got to do what they got to do. And it's like, nah, man, we ain't living the world they lived in. This is different. The world they live in is not the world we lived in. And they are not us. And it's not for a bad thing, because we're not better than them. They're just dealing with a different set of problems that people are unaware of. And I think more adults, especially around our age, between 30 and 45, we're the age group that need to be mentoring to these people, because honestly, they're the next generation. They're there already. I got guys 20, 21, they're fathers, they're in school, but next 5 or 6 years, we're gonna lose our impact. We ain't gonna have the same strength in our voice. It's gonna be them. So my biggest thing is about building leaders now. Like, I want to build these guys up, because eventually I'm gonna be moved away. My voice isn't gonna carry in the same way it does with young people. But I'm gonna need a group of guys, a group of young adults that's gonna be able to lead this group the inner city needs it, man. We just forget about it. We ignore the news. We don't drive in those neighborhoods. And, you know, we from the city. For the most part, ain't nobody driving past 18th Street.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
For the most part, they live down there. They ain't drive, like, it's, you know how it is. It's just, it's insulated. So we just try to be in the crevices where most people don't even think about, man.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing.
Okay. And that's real talk right there, man. That's real talk. So another question, man. I know K.I.C.K is a faith-based organization, but for you specifically, for Winston Frazier, how does your faith play in a role in how you go about your work each and every day?
Grace. Grace, man. Grace. The grace that God bestowed on me for me to make it here at 35, with the stuff I've did, the stuff I've said, the things I got away with. I don't look at these guys no different. I think a lot of times people are scared of young people or look at young people as if they're immature, they're dumb, or they're not. We weren't either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we weren't either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you get to a certain point in a certain level in your faith and in your stance in life that you forget, like, you was one of the lost ones. Yeah. And I think the grace that I know that God has shown me, I carry that what I do. Like, I got guys that know, like, they can mess up, I'm gonna love them. Like, we can fall out, I'm gonna love you. Like, I'm gonna disagree, we wanna do all that, but I'm gonna love you. And they know that. You know what I mean? I don't have to talk to you. I have guys that are calling me out of the blue. I had a guy just call me today because he had a baby. Now, was I happy about him having a baby at a young age? No, but I am happy at the fact that it's a blessing to have a child. And now it's part of my job to kind of walk them through fatherhood. That's the role you play in people's lives, man. Like, it's not about where you want to be, it's about where they need you to be. And a lot of these guys, we got to serve in that place where they need us. And for me, that's what God does for us. Like, he don't minister in the place we want him to. He's going to go to the places we need it. So I try to take that with me with the guys and understand each one is different. You know what I mean? I can't scale potential, and I can't scale their outcome. Like, regardless of their situation, I just hope they make it to my age. And that's what a good life. That's what I want, make a good, faithful life, man. I take that with me because God has blessed me. So I'm hoping if I pour it down, hopefully they get the same thing, man. Hopefully they get the same thing.
Man, amen, bro. Nuggets right now. So I'm loving it, bro. It's all real, man. It's all real talk. So that being said, a couple more questions and we'll have you out of here, man. But what is in K.I.C.K's near future plans? And what's your advice for people that want to get involved or want to help in some type of way, man?
Our plans this year is to really plant in K.I.C.K, to really have a presence, because a lot of my guys that I've dealt with has been in Missouri, but a lot of my leaders, youth leaders, are going to be from Missouri because those are the guys I've been discipling and working with for the last 3 years. But really, kind of affecting the community that I live in a little bit more. Not disregarding Missouri because I love it over there. You know what I mean? I love the area, so I'm still going to be picking up guys, but really putting a step in K.I.C.K with mentoring, with basketball training. There isn't let me say, I'm no disrespect to nobody. You know what I mean? But in K.I.C.K, there's no real home-based training facility. You know what I mean? People got to drive to up north. They got to drive to Olathe. They got to drive to Leavenworth. But we're in K.I.C.K 67th Street. Like, we're going to be doing grade school, middle school, and high school. So we're going to have it, and it's clean. It's going to be professional. It's going to be good. And it's going to be lower price than what these guys been charging. You know what I mean? Some dudes charging $25, $30, $40 a session for an hour with 20 people in the gym. That ain't going to be us. Like, we're going to make sure, like, the kids that want to play ball really get taught the right way. And then the youth church. That's probably my main priority, man. Like, I want to make sure these middle school and high schoolers get faith the way, I'm not saying get it the way they need it. Well, yeah, get it the way they need it, man. I think we just don't look at the way that they can perceive faith the way we do. It has to be a lot more energy. It has to be a lot more fun. The word can't be as long for them as it is for us, and trying to adapt to their needs so we can have a stronger faith base in our city too, because no matter what we want, if the morality of our people is shot, we ain't gonna, nothing matters. So my biggest thing is trying to get our church going, get the basketball program going. Of course, mentoring, we always mentor, and try to get some guys, just get them on the right foot. And if anybody want to support or anything like that, or reach out, go to our Facebook page, K.I.C.K Ministries KC, our Instagram page, or www.kickministries.org.
Hey, awesome, man. One last question, bro, because you brought up earlier how, sometimes we forget we wasn't that much different from these kids, man. And sometimes me and my wife, we you know, in the car, we'll put on the radio and we listen to some of this stuff on the radio sometimes. And I'm like, bro, how can it be this bad? But then I go back and listen to some of the stuff we were brought up on. I'm like,
I was about to say,
it
Little
wasn't
John
much better
and the
at all.
Boy, the Yin Yang Twins, that whole era, that was us. We was dancing. We know the lyrics. Even to this day, I don't care church or not. You know, if On the Wall comes on, you're gonna have to pray on yourself a little bit because you know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's a little bit more violent now. You know what I mean? I can say that a lot of the music for them is very emotional and very violent. And I'm not to disregard our music. Our music was that way too. Yeah. But gunplay is a little bit more real on their end. You know, this is the world they live in. So guns were really what addictive. It's like drugs and sex. It was those things. But now it's like guns and killing. And you know what I mean? That was on some other stuff. Like you have to really be in the streets to be doing that. That's just like enormity in their music. But you know what I mean? Honestly, but I say that, but as a young person to hear this and be like, I don't know the music, all their music isn't bad. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
What the media pushes is what we as older people, that's what we get. We get the radio play. We don't really get underground music. We don't get the other things that they're really listening to. So me working with the guys, like it keeps me young to a degree because I listen to the music they listen to just so I can know what they're listening to. I can say the music, you know what I mean? It ain't that lyrically, like they got some people in here. But, I mean, of course, the media in the world ain't gonna show those talents. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just
Okay. Well, hey man, I just want to say
my bad.
Well, no, you good, man. You took it better than I was gonna take it. So it's all good, man. I just want to say thanks again for joining, man. One more applause for our viewers for Winston Frazier and K.I.C.K Ministries. Man, I'm gonna be praying for y'all. And I mean what I say when I am legitimately interested in getting involved hands-on, man, as well in the near future. And for the viewers, before I let my man go, my album or the EP, the Rite of Passage EP, Uptown, February 12th, Friday. If you're watching this, it should be Thursday. If you're watching it live on YouTube, but Friday, February 12th, 2021, the Rite of Passage EP will be available on all platforms. However, for right now, for today, if you feel like, you want to contribute financially to K.I.C.K Ministries, please go to the Bandcamp link. I'm going to put it in the description. I'm going to put it down below. Go to the Bandcamp and purchase the album for $5 or more. All 100% will go to either K.I.C.K Ministries or the Nia Project. Okay. So again, if you want to contribute financially, if you want to volunteer, if you just want to check out their website, don't really trust what Uptown is doing, again, go to kickministries.org, donate, sign up to volunteer, see what they got going on, and if nothing else, pray. God bless. Peace, Winston, and right, I'll see you later, my brother.
All right, man.
All right.
See, there were two ceremonial events that changed my life forever. First was my baptism, and second, my wedding. It was July 11th, 2004. Stood before the church and submitted my life to the Lord. Baptized in that water, sin was already washed. This was purely ceremony as my family watched. As I declared, I was bound to the God who saves and laid down his own life before he rose from the grave. Such a sacrifice of love, but I took it for granted until I stood before that church in 2011. It was May 21st, such a perfect spring day, when I vowed like Christ that I would give my life away to my bride. I'll always be by your side, forever I'm down to ride, just modeling after God. This life is no longer mine. No. See that I'm still learning. There's no destination unless we're on the same journey. Twice now that I've declared to the masses, both times taught me manhood, rite of passage.
My God, yes, my God, laid down his life on Calvary. He did it for his bride, I do it for my bride. That's the man that I'm trying to be. See, I was a child, but look at me now. A grown man is what you see. Thanks to my God, yes, my God, I'm becoming who I'm meant
All right, welcome back to Music Meets Mission, and we're here for round two. And I just want to, introduce. It's a privilege and an honor, first and foremost, not because necessarily what we're going to get into, but I just want to let y'all know this is my honorary auntie, y'all. Okay, she's basically found. She's known me since I've known myself, and she's known my mother. Shout out to Ron Haley as well. Okay. But everybody, let's give a round of applause for Terri Barnes, the founder and president of the Nia Project, KC. Give it up. Welcome, Auntie Terri.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Well, just to get started, just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of the community work you've been involved in prior to the Nia Project.
Okay, so I am born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. I went to Kansas City Public Schools all of my life. I graduated from Kansas City Public Schools and then went to Park University to get my bachelor's degree. And I did that. I didn't do it the traditional way. I got a job. So back then, that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to graduate from high school and get a job. And I was lucky enough to get a job with a great employer that paid for my college education. So I was in the work world working full time and went back to school, and my employer paid for my bachelor's degree. And somewhere along the way, I was invited to be a part of some work at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. And I'd heard about it for years. I'd driven by it for years. I really didn't know what they did there. And they were opening one fall and needed some volunteers. And the executive director asked me if I had a couple hours to volunteer, and I did. And I went, and that was 22 years ago. I went and I never left. And that's really how I got introduced to volunteer service in the community.
Okay, awesome. That's good to hear. So yeah, hopping into the next question. So what exactly is the Nia Project and why? What is its purpose? What is its mission? And just elaborate on what is the Nia Project.
I am so excited about the Nia Project. The Nia Project has been in my head for years. And, we're busy, we're working, we're distracted. We have so many different things going on. And as I mentioned to you, I've been a volunteer at the Du Bois Learning Center for over 20 years. I served in the interim as executive director. I've served as president of the board for 12 years. There were a lot of turbulent times going on with that. And so I was very committed to that and didn't feel like I could really do anything else. Also in 1999, while I was at the Du Bois Learning Center, we recognized that there was a need to support girls. And so we started a mentoring program called My Sister's Keeper. And we simply put a flyer together. We were already at the Learning Center. We already had girls coming in for academics. And so it was the perfect setting to offer this mentoring program. So we started this mentoring program, and it lasted for 15 years. So the first 2 years, we were not even a nonprofit. We were just doing the work because it was something that needed to be done. And I met my partner, Tracy Warren. She had a lot of experience in the community with girls, and she knew that there were a lot of entrenched issues that girls were having. And so we started a nonprofit. We called it Tracy's Place. The ultimate goal was to have a home, a place, a residential place where girls would have a safe place to live. And we did that for 15 years. And like I said, at the time, we were all working full time. We were raising our families, and we weren't doing the work full time. And I was also at the Learning Center. So at some point along the journey, we decided that we really couldn't address all the issues that needed to be addressed. And we kind of set that aside. And I focused on the Learning Center, and the other women focused on other priorities that they had. And so now, for me, the Nia Project is really phase 2 of that work. It's still focused on girls and women, and it's still focused on providing a safe place for girls or women to be when they need that.
That's awesome. And because I just spoke with Winston Frazier of K.I.C.K Ministries, and he talked about, mentoring to our young African-American men in the inner city period, our young boys becoming men, and just the importance of that. So it's just amazing to see, of course, our young women are being invested into as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really an interesting thing, because we have, back when we started My Sister's Keeper and we were trying to raise money for, we kept being told there's no money for prevention. There's no money for prevention because we have, we've got homelessness, we've got folks that don't have food to eat. There were all of these big issues where all of our money seemed to be going. And it just didn't make sense to me that, what do you mean there's no money for prevention? Because if we prevent it, then you don't have this on the other side. But like I said, the past 20 years, I really learned and grown and met a lot of people in the community. And I think that I am even better positioned to serve because I am more fully aware of the resources and some of the political issues that surround even the nonprofit world.
Yeah.
So I'm just really excited about the opportunity we have to make a huge difference in the lives of girls.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, next question I have for you is, what's been your primary motivation to serve these young women, and what's been your motivation to continue to do it so consistently for so long? Because sometimes we get caught up in the moment and we get all gung ho about this mission or this project, and then we flame out. But what has kept you motivated throughout 20 plus years of service?
I think that, and I think this is really key. People ask that a lot, and I think this is the key. I just think that's my ministry. I think that that's what God put me on the earth to do. Now, I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago, but as I have tried to have a closer walk and a stronger faith, and I think about my history and how I got involved in the work and the passion that I have for the work. And it was never about having a grant. We never had money. I would go into my own pocket. We were lucky enough, your mom and I, we were all lucky enough. We had, quote, good jobs with good benefits. And so we paid for the girls to go places and do things. And we bought our own t-shirts. We did all of our own things. We didn't necessarily think about, in order to do this work, we need to be a nonprofit and get funding. We just did the work. And when we had the bigger ideas, when we decided we wanted to have a residential facility, that's when we said we need to organize so that we can properly fundraise. So I don't think there's, I just think that's my mission. I think that's my purpose. I think that's why God put me here. I think that's why opportunities continue to present themselves, like this opportunity with you, because I think this is what God put me here to do. And I think that God is putting things in front of a lot of people, but there's fear and there's all these other messages that get in the way, and we don't quite get there. Because like I said, the Nia Project has been in my head for years, but I was doing lots of other things.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I'm glad you got it going, obviously. So, so the next thing, you brought up like the politics and things, just so with everything going on today on a more national sense of the word political and the social climate, do you feel like that has put a greater sense of urgency on the work that you do, or do you feel like it's maybe not so much of an influence on what you do, or kind of how are you navigating this social, like the racial tension and everything going on with the efforts to invest in these young women?
I can't wait. So for me personally, it's not more of a burden, or doesn't feel more urgent, because this is what I do. But boy, all of that flashpoint in our country with George Floyd that opened the floodgates to this awareness that the world is not fair, and there's racism and there's inequality. So for me, it has made the work, I don't want to say easier, but people are open to the idea that things have not always been fair. So what can we do to right the wrong? So my belief is we probably won't get the same responses that there's no money for prevention. People now recognize that school systems and school districts and neighborhoods and housing and playgrounds, things were not created fairly for brown and Black people. And so it really just provides, to me, it provides us a new opportunity to have dialogue and conversation to get things right side up.
For sure, for sure. Love that. Yeah. So a few more questions and I'll get you out of here. But
Okay.
with that being said, what is your pitch to the common person watching right now that feels like, they don't have much to offer their community or feel like they may not be specifically gifted in a certain way? What can you, what's your advice for the common person that sees the issues or just sees their own community and just wants to help and wants to get behind what you're doing, get behind the Nia Project? What is your advice to those people?
So I'd love to have anybody who's interested in learning more about the Nia Project, because I do think part of the trick to our community has been that we can't help ourselves. And so we always look for somebody to come into our community to fix the housing, and somebody to show up to fix domestic violence, and somebody to show up because we don't have a grocery store, and somebody to show up. And I believe that what we need in our community is in our community, and we just have to harness that, and we have to have people to show support. Unfortunately, we have not had community leaders and politicians and people who, now they've done a lot of work. I don't want anybody to think that I'm downing it, because we've got a lot of issues, whether it's healthcare or education or human trafficking or policing. So there's so many issues that we have. Their hands are always full, but there's nothing that the power of, in my opinion, mamas, you get a group of mamas together to start making some demands, and you will begin to see things change. And so that's some of the work that I want to do with the Nia Project. I really want to advocate and go into some of these schools that don't have music programs, children that don't have access to dance. I think every child should have access to some type of extracurricular activity that helps them be better, that helps them build confidence and capacity. And when I look around in my neighborhood, most kids are not in dance programs, music programs, self-defense programs, things that we took for granted as kids. Our kids can't jump on their bicycles and ride the neighborhood and go 3 or 4 blocks away, or, give them money to go to the corner store. They don't have the same experiences that we had. So we have to be more intentional about creating opportunities for them to learn and grow and relate to people. And to me, that's missing. And with COVID and this whole year of Zoom learning, if we are not being proactive to come in and help our children, Lord, help us. And so I am hopeful that the Nia Project will do that. And I think I got all off track of your question. So for somebody who wants to help, don't think you have to be a manager or a CEO. When you think about nonprofit organizations, it's always these fancy pants people sitting on a board, and they can donate a lot of money and all these things happen. But for the people who are doing the real work in the community, what I learned, these are these people who are on the blocks. It's the lady selling candy for a nickel or 25 cents. She knows who all the kids are. She's providing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and she's doing it all out of her own pocket. So the Nia Project is looking for people who sew, who used to be a plumber, who used to be the cafeteria line lady, somebody who can make phone calls. If you know how to change oil in a car, there's a workshop to teach young people how to change oil in a car. You know how to change a flat tire? There's a workshop where we can show young people how to change a flat tire. But we bought into this whole idea that we don't have anything to offer. And we have everything to offer that our young people need. We just have to harness it and make it available. And that's really what I want to do with the Nia Project. We're going to do lots, and that's why it's called the Nia Project. This year we might be changing tires. Next year we might be building a house. Yeah. We want to create experiences that allow these young people an opportunity to really engage and relate, and think of how they can be great. So if you have a farm, if you've got horses, there's something that you can give back, and I want to take you up on that.
That is awesome. I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, I was so interested in this, when I was thinking about, organizations I could try to partner with, and I'm thinking about these national organizations, and I'm like, hold on, I know somebody right here in Kansas City, and this is the time for girl power too, especially Black Girl Magic, all of that. Let's do
absolutely.
it. So,
I have to tell you, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to tell you, I was thinking about Amanda Gorman. Everybody's talking about Amanda Gorman and her beautiful poem that she did at the inauguration. And I give her all of that credit. She was incredible. But when I look at Amanda Gorman, the first thing that I think about is there's probably 20 Amanda Gormans right here in this neighborhood and community. Yeah. I don't want to say that because I think Amanda's pretty special. But there are probably there are young people in our community that can be the gymnast. I mean, when you drive around the neighborhood, you see kids flipping off the front porch into the mattress. Ain't never had training, not afraid, and they just do it. So can you imagine if we had a gymnastics studio that could really build those skills? And so that's what the Nia Project is about. There are kids and adults who are in our community that are really positioned to do great things, but our community is not providing that kind of support. And that's the kind of work that I really want to dig into.
That's awesome once again. And tell the people, what is the website for the Nia Project where they can learn more?
The Nia Project, it is the Nia Project KC. So NIA Project KC.org.
Okay.
And you can go to the website and read more about us, reach out to us. I'd love to talk to any individual or group. We had a big plan to have a summer school, an 8-week summer school program this summer, but COVID has really kind of thrown a wrench into that. And we don't want to offer something on Zoom again for kids who are already Zoomed out. So we are making some shifts and adjustments to come up with another experiential project that we can get these young people engaged in and get them involved.
For sure. Well, hey, thank you again for just coming in and sharing about the Nia Project. And before you go, I do want to let the people know again, partnering with Uptown Productions, Music Meets Mission. My next EP is available on Bandcamp. Now, listen, if you buy or purchase the album on Bandcamp for a minimum of $5, but you can go up as high as you want. You can set the price anything $5 or above. If you go on Bandcamp, link provided below, link in the description, 100% of that money will go towards either the Nia Project KC or K.I.C.K Ministries. So that's one simple way you can get involved. And like I said before with Winston, if you don't trust me, go directly to the Nia Project KC.org, see how you can volunteer, see if you can donate that way. And it's not just about the money. We need your prayers and your support.
That's right.
And if nothing else, spread the word. If nothing else, spread the word.
Right.
So thank you again, Auntie Terri.
Ryan, thank you so much for the huge opportunity in this platform. And I know that great things are going to happen for you because you are thinking about, even in the work that you do, you're thinking about how you can serve and give back to the community. So I know great things are going to happen for you.
Well, I appreciate it. God bless. People have invested in me and just trying to do the same. So that's what it's all about. So, all right. Well, God bless. Peace.
Thank you so much.
Music Meets Mission. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
All right.
Call it a while. Go something like this. Yo drip, yo swag, you fresh, they mad, but they don't know your story, boy, just stay up in your bag. I said yo walk, yo style, yo talk, yo smile, your life is different now since you've been caught up out the wild. Yo drip, yo swag, you fresh, they mad, but they don't know your story, girl, just stay up in your bag. I said yo walk, yo style, yo talk, yo smile, your life is different now since you've been caught up out the wild. Remember them days when life was a haze, you didn't know left from right. Something was blinding you, something inside of you knew there was more to life. More than the jewelry and cars, more than the smoking and folk in the bars, more than the chasing relations with Nathans that's leaving you empty and vacant like Mars. Then over time, you kept shooting like in overtime. Now you know it was only God.